Hey everybody, how's it going? What are you doing? How's it hanging? I don't know. These lights need to be brighter. I don't know. Turn them up a little bit so my eyeballs can be a little less happy. It's Friday. It's time to rank 8-bit Nintendo games here on the internet. Your home for everything. It's all here, the internet, brought to you this week by the internet. If you want to influence the list, you can do so over on the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. Get an ad-free version of the weekly podcast. You get a bonus weekly podcast, more shows, and so on and so forth. Patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann is the spot for all of that. If you join the advisory panel, you can recommend games for this very show. We have 622 games on our list of ranked 8-bit Nintendo games. We are applying the science to every game released in North America during the system's original run. And so far, scientifically speaking, the worst game on the platform is a game called Raid 2020. And again, when we let the science speak, right now, with the games we've ranked thus far, the best one of those is called Mega Man 2. There's a lot of room between those two ends. Where will this week's batch of games fall? That is what it is time to discover. I am looking forward to this list of games because it is there's some stuff that we'll get to that I'm not sure should be on the platform at all, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out today. That's what I'm here to do. Ultimately, this is all about finding out. Ultimately, I mean, that is strictly true. You know, this whole thing began because I just found myself wondering, man, like are any of these games, do any of these NES games hold up? It's like, you know, it's easy to just like load up and play the first 20 seconds of every game and just go like, oh yeah, I don't know, that I remember this game from when I was a kid and yay. And you know, again, so much of the conversation around so many of these games has been calcified by decades of conversation online and people making videos poking fun at what they think are the hilarious bad games. And so like I found myself really questioning that canon, and so far I think that like I've learned a lot about the games on the platform, that there are still some, you know, some amazing gems that I had not played. Some of the games I loved as a kid held up quite well, a lot of them did not, and it's been a real adventure here. But we're here, episode 116. And we've got a fresh batch of games here. Chubbigans wanted to see this first one here, and I've been waiting for this one for a while myself. High Speed. Oh, cool, a driving game. I love to drive. Rare makes some good driving games, so that'll be cool to play. Oh, it's a 4-player driving game. That's awesome. Let's... What? Hang on now. We've been bamboozled. This is High Speed, the classic pinball machine ported to the NES. It was this and Pinbot were the two games that made it somehow, for some reason... that Rare ported over and made these versions. And what a weird thing to do, especially like, you know, again, this was like 1991 was the copyright date on this. Like High Speed originally was, God, when did High Speed come out? Was it like 87 or something? It's like 86. Yeah. So they've added this different music to it. They've added some collectibles. You see, I picked up a chopper. There's a glowing safe on the screen. And so they kind of made some gameplay relevant changes to how high speed works, which is sort of weird. Just a puddle up there to splash through, I guess. Speech so intense it causes the whole game to halt and then immediately pick up again, and I hit some kind of whirlwind and it immediately sucked the ball down the bottom. Does this still play Lagrange, you ask? That is the sequel to High Speed. That is High Speed 2 The Getaway that played Lagrange. This game did not. This is a disaster. Like, the ball is heading for the flipper, and the speech causes the whole game to stop moving. Like, that's crazy. You know, a lot of modern pinball, a lot of modern pinball games do kind of a smart thing. Where when you pause the game, it gives you like a 3 count. It goes like, okay, you're unpausing. Like, here's where your ball is. Like, you have 3 seconds to kind of get ready, and then it's going to start moving. So it doesn't just like start moving on you as soon as you unpause. You know, we have unlocked some kind of safe mode mini game, safe jackpot or something. We've put a ball in the safe. It is disintegrated. And this was not in the original arcade game. Oh, okay, I'm launching balls. They threw a little pachinko in here for you to make sure that people around the world loved it. So do we get both balls back here on this? Are we still in multi-ball? Okay, yeah. As far as I can tell, I don't think that this is even the music from... I don't think any of this is based on any of the audio, the music from the original game. Like, they really just kind of did their own thing. And it works fine, I guess, I would say. Okay. Oh, come on. You do have a little bit of ball control, you know, to nudge the ball around a bit, but... Alright. Now we've got some kind of helicopter escape sequence here. Okay, we've got a little RC Pro-Am in here. Weird. This is a cute idea. So it looks like if I hit the enemy cars, they spin out. If I hit my car, it goes faster. That's kind of... This is a little... it's just kind of... It's a little slow moving, I guess I would say. We won. It's cool that they inserted some additional stuff and didn't... You know, because I feel like... I don't know. Like, I'm of two minds when it comes to digital pinball machines. I want one of two things. I want ridiculous accuracy. I want, like, a dedication to physics and the recreation of a real table in a ridiculous manner. Or I want an abundance of things that could never be done on a real pinball machine. Like, if you're gonna take advantage of the digital form, I want you to either, like, go bananas on reality or throw reality out the window. And too many games get caught in the middle where they have, like, a couple of ideas and then they don't do anything good. And, you know, by throwing some additional mini games and collectibles and weird stuff in this, they're doing at least... I feel like they're doing enough. In a world where, you know, they were not necessarily going to have the most, like, realistic recreation of high speed in the world. You know, okay, apparently my left flipper was melted by acid. That sucks. That's stupid. Light is red. So the main crux of this table, especially in arcades, was that you were hitting those traffic lights that are up there. Those are traffic lights up there, by the way, if it's not obvious, up here. And then you want to make the light red, and then you want to do this to run the red light. That gets the cops after you. This sucks. And then as soon as the cops are after you, you basically want to get away. And getting away then activates, gets you into multi-ball territory and all that sort of stuff. Now, there is some value in before you run the red light again, going and actually hitting these targets again to turn all the traffic lights back on. But we didn't do that. We got away. He what? He got away. In some ways, the speech is the most valuable part of this pinball machine, so they dedicated cartridge space to the part that mattered most. Like, no, we need the digital audio of the cops talking. The music leaves a little bit to be desired here, I'll say. I think that some of it is just kind of not... I feel like a lot of the music is very underwhelming. That helicopter was trying to drop bombs on my flippers. That seems like, I don't know, maybe that's a bridge too far for, like, hey, we came up with some goofy ideas about some things this pinball machine can do on a Nintendo. No, get out of here. What the fuck? Like, how am I supposed to fucking... Like, what? That is ridiculous. But the music in the original game is like good, and I don't know why they didn't just try to at least try to duplicate some part of the music in the original game. Also, why is this gnome with a wrench here? What? Or did Rare just have this dude laying around? Is this like an early version of Digger T Rock? Oh, he wants to rub. All right. Well, I mean, that's this. I don't know. I could go for one more, a little bit. Maybe we won't play a whole game, but just, I don't, it's a, again, like, this is probably one of my top 5 favorite pinball machines of all time. High speed. If not like top 3, like, I don't know. Yeah, this is a great legendary pinball machine. And this doesn't feel like that. It doesn't necessarily have to. I think they add enough weird bells and whistles. Like the physics are close enough to, like, they're at least consistent, right? Like sometimes that's the problem with digital pinball games, is that the physics are applied inconsistently. I think some of the things they're doing here with, like, oh, how about this little, what even is that? Is that a tumbleweed or a whirlwind or a piece of shrimp? Like what? Like a rolling piece, some kind of rolling crustacean. But whatever it is, if you hit it soft, if you don't pound through it, it will just kill you. It will just walk your ball down to the bottom and say, get effed. And I think that's too much. I think like this. I don't think there's a way. I don't think there's a way out of that for you. And I think that's ridiculous. I think that having like attacks in there that make your flippers disappear is also maybe a little over the line. And so I think that, like, that's sort of the weird, the downside of what they've done here, is I think that they've added some bullshit to this. The audio is not amazing across the board. The music is okay for what it is, but it's not as good as the original game. And they have the digitized cop audio, which is very key, but then the siren doesn't sound very good. It's kind of stuff like that. It's a little mixed. It's a little like, there's definitely a downside to this thing. But in terms of, like, hey, here's this idea of let's keep the flippers at the bottom of the screen at all times, and we'll just kind of scroll the rest of the screen here, so you always have kind of some, like, you're still always kind of grounded in what's going on. I think that's effective. Different games and certainly more modern takes on pinball, digital pinball, have, like, done the flipper stuff way worse. Way worse than this. So I think, they did this and they did Pinbot. I think that this is a more effective package than Pinbot is. But what the fuck, dude? Like, that's criminal. That should be I hope that, like, that the people who developed that specific aspect of this game had to, like, deal with that, had to address that in some sort of legal, like, I hope that they went to jail. I hope that they did time. Like, this is bullshit. This is fucking straight up bullshit right there. That is like, call your local constable. You're going to the Hoosgow. Rare. We got it. Somehow. And here comes some kind of acid ball that is melting on my... Oh, see, now there's there's a helicopter coming to put a new flipper in. I don't think that stuff is like... I don't know. It's like something is necessary. Something is necessary to add to this, to do something else into into making it kind of more than just an inaccurate recreation of the original table. But I think that stuff, specifically things that are melting away your flippers for a period of time, or tumbleweeds that are sucking your ball off into the bottom. Like, I think that's no one needs that. That's too much. But it is still, I think, a more effective package overall than Pinbot was. I think they've done a good job of again representing one of the true greats of pinball. It's a weird thing, man. It's just a weird thing. Where did Pinbot end up? There's a space in that, right? There's a space or an asterisk. There we go. Yeah. So I'd say right off the bat, this is better than Pinbot. It's better than James Bond Jr. It's better than Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. It is better than Alex DeMayo's Race America. It's better than The Hunt for Red October. It's better than Super Sprint. It's better than Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat. It's not better than Wrath of the Black Manta. Wrath of the Black Manta is a better game. It's our new number 258. Okay. Whoa. Copy this down here for you. And there you have it. Pinball. There's some great digital pinball games that I just love, man. This is a weird one, like High Speed and Pinbot as well. Just this idea of straddling the line of having a real table as your basis, but trying to figure out like what more to do on top of it. Like it's a delicate balancing act, because with Pinball Effects, the current kind of purveyor of licensed pinball tables, they do a bunch of weird shit. Not weird in this specific way. They're not adding acid and helicopters to the pinball machines, but I don't know, the physics don't feel good. And that's something where it's like it looks close enough that you want realistic physics. And I think that their physics model is actually super bad. And they have some tables that go above and beyond that are not based on real tables, where they do some really cool stuff. But even then, I don't know, the feel of the pinball is sort of a letdown. Yeah, like Pokemon pinball, like games that are like here's kind of like we are leaning into this digital pinball thing and doing some weird stuff with it, and here's a bunch of tables all in one and weird mini games. I think even going back to, you know, original NES pinball, where it's got their kind of like breakout style thing with Mario walking the paddle back and forth to catch the princess, like that stuff's really cool. You know, yeah, Pokemon pinball is a great game. Kirby, the original pinball man, you know, he's a pinball guy. Kirby's Pinball Land is a great game. Terrific pinball in that game, and also like a lot of character. You know, you're fighting like some kind of tree guy or something. They would go on to make a bunch of other Kirby games where they're not, like, he's not a pinball, and then you fight you know you have to fight the same tree guy and do different stuff. It's weird. I don't know, but Kirby's Pinball Land, I think, is probably the best Kirby game. They're still making Kirby games, but for some reason they're not pinball anymore. I don't know what happened. Like, it just seems like he's a pinball. Why would you not lean into that? You know, I guess, like, you know, you do have to kind of mix it up, because the other side of that is something like Sonic Spinball, which is an atrocity in several ways. Like, it's such a terrible feeling thing, such an absolutely awful game. And in terms of how it feels as a pinball game. And, you know, that's a shame, because Sonic the Hedgehog rolls up into a ball and you're like, man, look at that. You could do that. You could do that all day long, but goddamn, what a terrible game. I mean, it's certainly no Crew Ball. One would be much better served with a copy of Crew Ball than Sonic Spinball. God, Sonic Spinball. Yuck. Anders wanted to see this next game. This is, some people feel that this is the greatest role-playing game of all time. They don't say that about this version of the game, but hey. Hang on. What? There we go. They took the 4 off of it. It is Ultima, Quest for the Avatar. Play game, new game. I want to play game. Thy journey has not yet begun. Is this the Velvet Room? Entrusted to deliver an uncounted purse of gold, thou dost meet a poor beggar. Dost thou deliver the gold, knowing the trust in thee was well placed, or show compassion, giving the beggar a coin, knowing it shan't be missed? I feel like I don't have enough information here to really... Like, I want to know who I'm delivering the coins to, if they're, like, okay, or if they're shitty. I feel like I'm going to go with... I feel like I'm going to deliver it. Unwitnessed, thou hast slain a mighty dragon in defense of thy life. A poor warrior claims the offered reward. Dost thou justly step forward to claim the bounty? Or humbly go about thy life, secure in thy self-esteem? Humility on that one. A burly knight accosts thee and demands thy food. Dost thou valiantly refuse and attack the knight, or sacrifice thy food unto the hungry knight? Oh, so he's hungry? At first he was burly. Like, does he need it, or is he a dick? Like, he sounds like a fucking asshole. Fuck him. In thy youth thou didst pledge to marry thy sweetheart. Now thou art on a sacred quest in distant lands, and thy lover hath asked thee to keep thy vow. Dost thou honor thy promise to wed, or follow thy spiritual crusade? Honor is, yeah, honor on that one. So, which way do you choose? Never deceive or be moderate always? Be moderate always. And which of the two do you choose? Fight against evil or keep your vows? I guess keep your vows. At last thou must choose which you think more valuable, humility or honor. I guess humility, I don't know. Your path is chosen. All that shit, and the end of it, you go, here's Lord British? Come on. The ages of darkness are no more, yet still doth evil swell in the hearts of the people. Long sought an adventurer who would master the 8 virtues of avatarhood and guide our people into a new age of enlightenment. Harry, I know in my heart that thou shalt become this avatar. Go forth now and conquer the frontiers of the self. That's so fucking heady, man. Capital G here, people. What are we doing? Inconsistent capitalization, like just already. Visit the good king often. It automatically talks to people when you bump up against them. To find the moon gate, mark well the eastern moon. Then shout the western moon, guide thy way. Avatarhood comes only with mastery of the 8 virtues through deeds of merit. Do not covet the treasures of others, nor open another's chest. Keep thy hands from temptation. Okay, yeah. What do we got menus-wise here? Nothing. Nothing at all. Cure, wind, heal, and is view a spell? Okay, alright. Other. Status is just a black box. Don't I know it, man? Alright, I'm level 2. Sweet. I'm a shepherd. This is where the BioWare got it from. I got a staff. I got a cloth. I have no runes. We got some ash, some ginseng. Yeah, we're set. Oh, this seems bad. Am I getting hurt? Is that what that beeping noise is? Or is that just the music? Like it is flashing like I'm taking damage or something. Used to do a fair business here until the mold started growing on the food. It still says H200, so I feel like I don't... Harry finds flute. We once believed pride a virtue, and death exalted in our folly. Yeah, that's cool, man. Why would this cause this? Fog of war wise, like sensibly, what is the logic behind me getting like locked into this 2 square area, and then like there's no corner that the light is bending around, like it's ah! Avatar of nothing, empty thoughts. Do you desire the worship of thousands? I mean, yeah, Requiem Aeterna. Okay, yeah. There's treasure in this town somewhere, and I doubt we shall have need for it. Is that an axe? Can I take that, or what? You know, no. Okay. Like, is my status changing here? What's... Yeah, my HP is not going down. Like, I'm not really seeing any kind of downside to walking on these areas that are making it flash. So this game is kind of crazy, you know? You get fairly different characters based on those answers you choose at the beginning of the game. And you kind of have to set out on your quest to, you know, represent the virtues or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, now I'm taking damage when I walk. What is... Why? Auto. So, okay, I don't have any MP. My HP is dropping. Damn it. We probably want cure. So that's ginseng and moss. So if I... No. If I... No, I can't pick items out of that. It doesn't say anything about being poisoned or anything on this screen. There's an SP next to my name. I don't... Welcome to Magencia, fool. Brah! Like, I don't... This is where the flute was. I have not seen any kind of like cauldron to use to mix items together for a cure to whatever ails me. I appreciate that Auto is in here because I don't want to. I don't want to have to fight in this role-playing game. I mean, if I hit B, it kind of like time seems to be passing if we look at the moons. Yeah, am I waiting on a moon gate here? There. Okay, now there's more land. Is there going to be a town where I can stop myself from dying? There probably is, but we're probably not going to make it there in time. Harry is dead now. Am I dead? Oh, whoops. I gotta unmap that space bar. That's too freaky when that happens. Accidentally fast forwarding. Thy valor is worthy in mine eyes. Oh, thanks, man. Still no magic, but the P is missing from next to my S, so at least there's that. Weird. Oh, now talk is a thing. Talk is not an option at the beginning of the game. Friend Harry and Hope of Britannia, I welcome thee. Is there any way in which I... Sure. Virtue. Justice. Deep in the northern forests, the druids uphold justice with diligence. Will there be anything else? What do you know about honesty? Moonglow is into honesty. Empath Abbey, far to the northwest, is a fortress open to all. No, I don't enjoy good health. Still a real lack of MP here. And with that, an ability to heal, I think. I seek to eliminate odd order intermodulation distortion in linear power stages. Yeah, tell me about it. Lady's gonna start telling me about how we just shifted to a higher timeline or something if I stick around, so let's get out of there. Heard of the hidden village called Cove? What are you into? Hawkwind? You're into Hawkwind? That's cool. Like Hawkwind's all right. I wouldn't say I'm like a Hawkwind fan, but like, you know, you could do worse, I guess. Whatever. What you keeping down here, lady? Hail, Secret of Avatar Road. Evil trembles at thy coming. Yeah. I get that a lot. Okay, I can cure poison at a hostel. Looks like if I had a party, this would be a place to split the party up or do something like that. There's no one here to recruit, though. Oh, yeah. I'm Chuckles the Bumble. He who laughs last, laugh the loudest. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Britain, city of compassion. Everyone always says that about Britain. That it's the city of compassion. Search at the foot of the inn's stairs. Eight runes, 8 stones. You gotta catch them all. Welcome to the healer. Yeah, I'm trying to get served. I am Iolo. Dost thou like music as well? I love this shit. Might ye welcome a bard on thy travels? Oh, man. Okay, a fighting... Okay. A fighting bard, sure. Oh, yo, he hum, he says. Just fucking strumming your lute while we roll around. You're gonna creep out the ladies. Iolo, you are scaring the hoes. Compassion to the east across 2 bridges. I have heard of a stone of compassion. 'Tis yellow, 'tis said. All right. What are you doing out here? Throwing up? I'm Bob the Beggar. I got bubonic plague. Now I can seek treatment for my terminal leg rot. Great. Can I even use a sword? I'm a shepherd. Do I have to use my fucking cane? Level 3 bard, sling and cloth. I'm looking for some leather. Yeah. No one can use it, okay? Wait. No, it's not okay then. Thanks for telling me that, I guess. East across 2 bridges was some compassion. It's 1 bridge. Get him! This fight is going... Okay. And here's our second bridge. So is this like a poison swamp? Yeah, we're both poisoned now. The poison left Harry. Okay, we need the poison to leave you as well. Well, sorry, buddy. Missile spell of enemy 2. The combat window is pretty small. I feel like they could have made that... Well, I guess you need room for all your party members, right? Like, that's why there's that big black box there on the right side, because eventually you're going to have a larger party. Oh, sorry to walk back and forth and make you take even more damage, but... I guard the Shrine of Compassion. Thou dost not bear the rune of entry. Yeah, but let me in anyway. It looks like his MP went back up. So can I cast Cure now? Yeah. Yeah, but just let me in anyway, man. Is this where games got it? The poison swamp? Is this where it all came from? Is this the original poison swamp? I feel like interface-wise, this is all a little slow and a little frustrating to deal with. I do like that MP seems to just regenerate. Like, that's sort of a... Yeah, like you regained 1 MP per step, so... Oh, who still had it? Who did I... Wait. Okay. The Bard still has the sickness all running through him. Okay, so cast Cure on yourself. And then we'll take a few steps here. And then we'll heal. Well, I'm guessing I don't just walk around in circles here until I find a rune of compassion or whatever the fuck it is. These giant rats? Yes, okay. Interesting having like weird terrain like this, though. I mean, I guess if your ranged attacks can just aim directly at a guy, it doesn't have to be on a straight line. Oh, I always forget. Treasure. The music is a little, let's say, repetitive. Back in Britain. And he gets some scones. I don't. Let me sleep here so I don't have to. Like, you could heal for free. You could just walk around in a circle and heal your MP up. But like, oh no, is that in fact what I have to do because you're not going to let me stay? Welcome to the hotel. Get out of here, spelled wrong. What if I give you 3? Not much going on. Fuck off. Oh no, I can move. Okay. All right, cool. That's a cool song. I mean, it's a better song than what was planned, so awesome. Thank you for that, at least. Why can't my bard play a better fucking song? Yes, you shalt record my journey. Shalt thou depart in the morning? Yeah, I guess so. I can play some jams too. Non-working toilets, man. What are we even doing? So did that heal me? Okay, yes, that healed me up. Well, okay, so we know where that shrine is, but I guess, I don't know. We could go talk to people and figure out which way to go, but I feel like I don't know that I need to see too much more than what we've seen. You know, having moon gates just kind of be a part of it and having the moon gates just open at random, especially starting on that island like that, is weird. Like, that's not a great start to a game. And that's something that, you know, Ultima has done. Like, that's something that the previous Ultima game, or the first Ultima game on the NES, Exodus, I guess, was the first, right? Yeah. Had a bunch of Moongate and like phases of the moon type stuff. And so, you know, having played those games, like, I'm a little more ready to deal with that bullshit than maybe someone coming into this cold would be. But I never thought that was an especially great system. The phases of the moon thing is like a neat idea, but I feel like in these NES games in particular, because I have weirdly enough more experience with Ultima on the NES than I do on computers. Yeah, it's not great. But it is interesting to see them, you know, kind of changing these games up, especially like this game in particular, changing it up in ways that make it more consoleized. Like, it's kind of a neat thing that they were able to do. I don't know that that's an ideal way to play this game, but I will say this combat takes forever. It's part of why I'm just hitting auto on this, because I'm just like, whatever, man, I'll take the damage. Like, you know, we're here to kind of cruise through it and take a tour here. And this like slow moving, closing the gap combat that this game has, certainly not the only game to have that. But it's just like, dude, we don't. I don't know that I need player positioning in combat. Like when you really lean on it and do some interesting things with it, and you're doing like cover mechanics, or like doing like almost an Advance Wars, like high ground, low ground sort of deal, I think that can be cool. Like here in theory, you know, like, oh, we got these mountains, but like ranged attacks just go right through them. In this situation, the auto battle has we've clogged into a choke point here. But it is nicely convenient that you can you know, regain your MP by walking around. You know, like, it makes you relatively self-sufficient in that I can already cast heal again and get everybody back to full health. Like, it does reduce the need to go back to town a little bit, which is interesting. I wonder if I need to go back to the king to level up. Doesn't say. It just says how many experience points we have. It doesn't say how many we need to level. So let's walk back and see if we're... I think it was down here, right? brutal ranged attacks on Harry Shepherd. And now he's got to walk over there and get there, and yeah. Okay, so that's the one of those bridges that we needed to take to get to that shrine over there, which would mean that we are, in theory, heading this way to get back to town. I don't know. You could play this. I think this combat is really like, even again, just doing auto takes too long. even that is just like yeah. Come on. I feel like that's something that console games, like pure, you know, built from the ground up console RPGs, at least the big ones, just had smarter combat systems that let you kind of get down to it. Like for random encounters and you know, having to deal with that level of player movement and positioning constantly is like, dude, give it a rest. You fucking weirdo. What do you got to say for yourself? Chuckles the Bumble. You sick fuck. Just wandering around out in front of the castle. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I am well pleased with thy progress. Experience more! So compassion is the thing around here. Anyway, you look a lot like Chuckles the Bumble. Kill this man. This, of all the ways to use Fog of War, why? Hawkwind. Thou art progressing well in this virtue. Great. Okay. I feel like this could have been one button press and one conversation. Just tell me about all of them. This is also an awkward kind of screen layout of just like walk into the darkness. Chuckles the bumblebee. Disgust me. Sickening. Does no mean I'll quit the game? Yeah. Be certain to hold down thy reset button even as thou dost switch off thy magic box, lest thy journey be lost forever. And then this is it. And then you effectively soft lock the game. All right, let me play with my magic box here. It's funny that Nintendo didn't have strict verbiage about that whole hold in the reset button thing and allowed developers to play with it like that. Though something like that feels obscure just far enough that you might just look at it and go like, what magic box? What are we talking? Like if you were a kid, you might not even understand the warning. I'll say again, every time we see a message like that, I'll say again, I never held in the reset button and I never had a problem. I assume it was a real problem because developers eventually had to put that into every single game with battery backup to remind people to do it. So I'm confident that it is a real thing, but I've never once experienced any sort of save loss on any of those cartridges. So I don't know what the deal with that is. I'm sure someone's got like a 4-hour YouTube video breaking down like, okay, well, the memory didn't initialize until you did this and this, and so that's why it would. I'm sure there's some breakdown as to why that was a problem, but yeah. Ultima. Quest of the Avatar. It's neat, and again, you know, it's a game that really kind of got its you know, like it became famous on other platforms, but it did become like relatively famous. You know, like that game became a very big deal for a lot of people. I remember learning more about that particular Ultima game when they decided to put out a some kind of version of it on phones. Which is, if that's not virtuous, then I don't know what is. When they tried to kind of do like a multiplayer remake of it, I do still need to find. They never released it on PC, but I do have like a copy of the server software. Like I have a build of that runs on a computer. I don't know if it still does all these years later, like in Windows 11. Who knows? But that game that Mythic did, I have a really weird build of that somewhere. See, instead of Ultima 4 Quest for the Avatar, it's Ultimate Forever. See, forever. You get it? You get it? Anyway. That game's all right. It's hard, man. Like that I feel like there's just enough in terms of like rough edges around this experience where, you know, like, hey, here's this thing that, you know, was obviously very, beloved on its original platforms and on computers and everything. coming to the NES, and like, yeah, it sort of has the, you know, you're still looking for the virtues, you're still doing the stuff, right? Like it's still basically that game. But gosh, it doesn't feel like it feels like a game they could have smoothed out a little more for a console release, and I think that Ultima Exodus does maybe slightly better of a job of that. I don't know. Like, Ultima Exodus is also a pretty fucking insane thing to exist on the platform. Whereas there, I think this game, it's a better game than Ultima Exodus, but it's not. Yeah, I think it has like it, you know, a lot of the same issues that game had, just in terms of, you know, expectations on the platform and other role playing games on the platform. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of the thing that drags both of these games down a bit, right? A lot. I mean, you know, we're in the mid 400s here for Exodus. That's not a great position to be in. You know, and you look at it as like, well, you know, if they would have been able to cut a few more corners. Yeah, I've heard the good things about the Master System version of this game, but I don't know that I've ever actually seen that game for myself. But that's sort of, I don't know, man. Like, the combat is so slow moving in terms of positioning and having like the first 4 or 5 rounds of combat being just you walking at each other. You know, if you're a spellcaster, obviously that's going to go a little differently, but you have to close the gap on enemies that way. And to have that happen in random encounters that are being thrown at you at a fairly regular basis, and just like boom, 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 like, it just sucks the momentum out of everything you're doing. And a speedier combat system that let you just get down to it, I think would have been so much better here at just keeping the game moving. Menus are clunky, but like a lot of menus, like, you know, a lot of menus of this era were similarly fucked up. You know, they're trying to have you do a lot of things. They want you to be able to search the ground. They want you to be able to talk to people, but like, they hadn't hit upon the idea of just like, what if you just walked up to someone and hit a button and that talked, and then, you know, you could build the other stuff into the dialogue tree instead of, you know, whatever else. But yeah, it's better than Ultima Exodus. But it's not, you know, I don't know. It's not like dramatically better. Like, it's you know, it's no Russian Attack. You know, it's no Solstice, the quest for the Staff of Deimos. Is Ultima, Quest for the Avatar, better or worse? This is the question that scholars have been asking for decades. Is Ultima, Quest for the Avatar, better or worse than Dino Wars, Destruction of Spanyelos? I think, scientifically speaking, we can kind of put this one to bed here. Dino Wars is a better game. Ultima is, you know, Ultima has a lot more in it and a lot more going on, but there is just again, it is the presentation of it. It is the slow, clunky nature of it compared to other games, other role-playing games on the system. Like, we know that this could have been done better. We saw it better in this era, right? So, like, a little bit more willingness to adapt the game to the platform. And I would love to see the Master System version, since people say that game is so good. You know, because I would love to see what they did to get it there. You know, like, what corners did they cut? Like, how do they find ways to make that game more appropriate for consoles than they did here? again, against his kind of contemporaries. I think that's sort of the interesting thing about it, right? It's on a platform where like this thing has been done better, and you could say the content of this game is superior to the original Dragon Quest, and that's an argument I'd be willing to hear out, because it's not like the original Dragon Quest is some deep story, or it's a very straightforward game, but it fucking cooks, man. It's ba 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 ba. Like, yeah, it has a lot of random encounters, and like to modern sensibilities, that is still offensive. But dude, like Dragon Warrior 1, man, you fight the fucking slimes, man. You kill the slimes and you keep it moving. And there's a peppiness to that comparatively that I think really, really helps it out. And that's something like that would be a game changer here if they had a combat system that was something more in line with that. You would lose out on the positioning, and there's some strategic loss there, I suppose. But I think the end product would end up being just a little bit better, or noticeably better, I suppose. This game is no Frankenstein: The Monster Returns. G.I. Joe: The Atlantis Factor is a better game. Akari Warriors 2 Victory Road is a superior product. But this is sort of the turf we're in. It's no Akari Warriors 2, but it's better than Akari 3, The Rescue. It's better than Defenders of Dynatron City. It's better than the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. It is a better game than The Adventures of Dino Ricardo. Dino Ricky. It is better than Pinball Quest, a tragedy. A remake of Pinball Quest that fixed the parts of Pinball Quest that were bad would be very good. If they remade a bad game and made it good, that would be a good game. This is just science that I'm talking to you about here. This is better than The Jungle Book. It's better than Weird Superman. This is better than Weird Superman. It is not as good as Cobra Command. It's better than The Addams Family. It is better than that fucking Thunderbirds game. It is better than Wheel of Fortune featuring Vanna White. It is better than Magic Johnson's Fast Break. Is Ultima, Quest for the Avatar, better or worse than Platoon? It's better than Platoon. It is no Stanley: The Search for Dr. Livingston. It's our new number 416. Okay. Platoon's another weird one. Speaking of games, not on their original platform, and the way that can change expectations. Like, Platoon is a game that if you played that on like a Spectrum, you'd be like, yeah, great. Oi, Gov, I love me Specky, or whatever. You'd wait the 40 minutes for it to load off tape, and you'd be like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. On the NES, it's not as much. Not so much. There you have it. Ultima, Quest for the Avatar. 416. Quest of the Avatar. Quest of the Avatar, not for the Avatar. I keep wanting to insert the number 4 into this. Okay. Let's move on. Shiny wanted to see this next game. And this game is unlicensed. Metal Fighter. We're gonna fight metal. Okay, this is already looking solid. This is already looking better than I thought it was going to be. This title screen does not inspire confidence from your friends at Joy Van. Oh, I can't even. It's like a bad version of Transbot. Oh, what the fuck happened? Is this basically like Pong, but I'm... Yeah. Give me that D. I gotta fight for the D. This is, this reminds me of Ninja Kid a little bit. There's something about the quality of the sound effects and its willingness to just jump you into a totally different area all of a sudden. That reminds me of some of the stuff happening in Ninja Kid. It's a real classic rock and roll. More games should have fucking 12 bar fucking blues. This is not good, but like, I don't know, man. Like, by the standards of unlicensed video games on this platform not made by Tengen, this is this is a bit much, I'll say. Like, having to do this every time you pick up a weapon, this is more... I'm gonna start avoiding weapons. Because, yeah, this is like Bad Outlaw. Okay. Can I hit you with this? Well, now we're screwed. I had every weapon in the world. Very scary music. I'm like a weird fucking robot bird. Yeah, this is okay. It's not, again, not good, but like it works. It's not a flickery disaster. The audio is like fine. Now, if the story on this is, by the way, this came out in 1994, that's a funnier, more ridiculous, Oh, and now I can't even walk, or I can't even fly. Rather, this is. We're gonna fight for this L. I'm in the L fight of my life. Hold that L, he said. The scrolling is smooth. It doesn't make the unlicensed game ping sound when you pause it. Joyvan has really outdone themselves. Eyeball with a bloody fist coming out of it. Looks like I can only hit him when he's attacking. This is gonna take forever. I need the D. And I'm willing to fight for it. The D ain't all that. I should have stuck with, what was that, the M that I had before? Let's try a U out. Oh, God. I feel like that's unnecessary. Like, hey, you know, you need to get that F power up to fly, and you lose flight every time you spawn. Like, it's not like they don't do anything interesting with it. Oh. Looks like it has a level select. Yeah, Ugly Lawn is right. There is some kind of atomic robo kid thing happening here. Okay, on the title screen, hold A and B and push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, this is the first level, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that did not seem to work. Okay. You know, nice of them to show how much life you have remaining above your score there. Like, you know, that's a lot of games. I feel like a lot of unlicensed games, especially, would not provide that information. But yeah, I don't know. This is okay. It's this is all right. You could play this. I don't know that I would, but like, you know, you could. Huh. Metal Fighter. Metal Fighter. And then is Metal Fighter Mu a different game? No, that's okay, so that's the Japanese version. I see. Okay. I mean, it's a better game than Chubby Cherub. Like, it has that kind of feel of like a first generation like a first gen NES game. When did this game come out? Way later than first generation, I'm guessing. 1989 in the US and 1991 in Japan. It's fascinating. But yeah, like they, you know, it took them a lot of years to get there, especially when we factor in the Japanese release of the Famicom. But like they eventually got to a point where like they were able to make a decent first gen seeming NES game. These criminals making unlicensed video game. Metal Fighter is better than Chubby Cherub, but it's kind of right there. It's kind of right there, isn't it? It's kind of. It's better than Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's better than Infiltrator. It is. This version of Joust is like. It's not a terrible version of Joust. It's just like that kind of superfluous. Like, why would you put Joust on this thing? It's no Robo Warrior. It's no Turtles. It's no Renegade. Right? Let's take a wider look. Let's widen it out just to make sure. It's a better game than Big Nose Freaks Out. It's a better game than Loops. It's a better game than Supercars. It's a better game than Joe and Mac. It's better than Exodus Journey to the Promised Land. It's better than Big Nose the Caveman. It is better than Star Soldier. It's better than The Punisher. You know what? It's not as good as Worm Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's no Crystal Mines. It's no Swords and Serpents. It's our new number 401. Yeah. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go, Metal Fighter. Nice. Nice. Next game, I have a hard time believing this game exists based on the description of it I read. This seems like a game that I just can't believe this. Acclaim put this out. It's from your friends at Imagineering. Chris wanted to see this. I'm bracing myself for Destination Earthstar. Oh, is this a fucking Star Raiders ripoff? Alex DeMeo of Race America did the audio here. UDLR to steer, select for the computer, start for weapon, A for fire. That's it? B button doesn't do any? Okay. B and start for map, B and select. It's nice that they put this in here. Hold B and hit up and down for speed. Yeah, this is they really made themselves a Star Raiders here, huh? Torpedoes and lasers. I assume the O's are bases, maybe? I don't know. Can I warp? Okay, there we go. Let's go to this one up here because that's probably one group of bad guys. Oh, there. Why do I not have any kind of reticle for torpedoes? Yeah, get fucked. Oh, we've managed our way into the next sector where there's more enemies to fight here. This is awkward. got a different colored guy behind us. Seems like the same type of enemy ship. Okay, let's see if these O's are bases. Actually, maybe B is base. Let's try heading to the B. And see if there's a base for us to dock with. We have accidentally flown out of the sector. I don't see anything here. We got 2 red lights blinking down there. I wonder if I got hit and it damaged my torpedo systems, and that's why I don't get a reticle anymore when I have a torpedo, when I have torpedoes armed. Let's try going to the O. Like, do I need to... There we go. Oh, O's a planet. Can I land? Orbit achieved. Weapon supply partially replenished. Okay. Back to hyperspace. Yeah, I'm leaning on my, like, Star Raiders knowledge here because clearly that's what they were making here. Okay. Sector secure. Attack enemy base. I guess maybe that's the glowing bee. Can I go back? Can I go to A? Is that going to be something for me? Weapon supply replenished. Okay, that's cool, but I could use some more energy and maybe even repairs, because I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm not damaged. I don't know, but... Underground base located. Commence attack. Oh no. Well, I don't know. Did they try and do a side scroll? They did. They sure did. Oh, they made bad Scramble. Look at this. They made exceptionally bad Scramble. They made a terrible feeling Scramble, and all I can do is like shoot forward and behind. I don't have a downward kind of bomb. Well, I guess then it's not Scramble, is it? If I can't drop bombs, well, I mean, it is bad Scramble. And maybe it's also bad Vanguard. Is it just bad Vanguard? The momentum on pushing left and right is bad. This feels terrible. The ship movement here feels like so fucking bad, dude. Okay, we're finding like weapon upgrade. Oh, I mean, it's bad Vanguard. We're shooting through the fucking things, man. They made bad Vanguard inside of their bad Star Raiders. I applaud this fucking disaster that they have made. What? Wow. Vanguard is a SNK arcade game, a shooter from, let's say, 83, 84, somewhere in that. Okay. We'll correct course here. We'll fly over to this number 1 on the map and give them some number 1 all over their stupid alien faces. Okay, I guess I just don't have a... I guess there's just no targeting reticle for torpedoes. Because I've not taken any damage and I still don't have... Okay, let's get up to speed here. Go into this next row, I guess. We're gonna fucking bomb the shit out of this whole spreadsheet by the time we're done. Star Raiders, if you're not familiar with it, is a game that originally launched on the Atari 400, 800 8-bit computers in like 1979. And it was awesome. It's fucking incredible. You have all these different viewpoints, and you can look at, like your systems would take different layers of damage, and there was a ton of stuff. But like it was not entirely dissimilar to this. But it's basically the same idea, except it doesn't have like bad Scramble / Vanguard in it. You just clear out all the sectors of enemies and then you win. And then it gives you a ranking and tells you you're like a rank 5 garbage scow captain or, whatever. All right, we're creeping. We are creeping on a come up here. Oh, I stopped all the way. I need to be going some speed. Okay, let's see if we do any better at this bullshit this time, because this sucks. Now that I know that I don't need to bomb targets, and that I have a forward attack and a backward attack here, I will not try to fly over these things and drop bombs on them like I did last time. It's like friggin' Thunder Force over here. I can go up or down. Forgotten Worlds or some shit. This is not like fun. This stuff is like it controls really poorly, and as you see, the enemies are just like jerking back and forth, like not really. Again, I feel like when you look at a lot of Imagineering's work, and it's hard to feel this way, a lot of Imagineering's work you look at and go like, you have to remind yourself like, oh, like the sensibilities here, some of the design sensibilities here were formed on the Atari 2600. Some of these developers are legendary in that specific space. In fact, that is what they're doing now. Like Gary Kitchen, you know, like they're out making brand new Atari 2600 games. And that's neat. But like here in this, when they tried to ply their trade on the NES, I feel like when you look at a lot of the Imagineering releases, you see those sensibilities and they no longer work. You know, it's a lot of, you know, kind of some crummy sound effects. I feel like we've heard like the jump sound effect from Keystone Capers in like 4 different games that we've ranked so far, like the Simpsons games and stuff. Like there's just a... like they were not making games with a level of depth or quality to work in this generation. And the end result is like a lot of stuff that you look at, you're like, there's some of these games are like almost there, but like it is not really. What do I, so I can, on the pause menu, I can go up and down here, but I don't think it's actually doing anything. Oh God. Now we're just shooting triangles at our ass. Triangle Man is back and he's pissed. But yeah, you see, I'm just tapping left and right here. And the like, oh, and now it's stopped. Now that we're here at whatever this is, boss fight or whatever, like it's, the movement has calmed down a little bit. And now we're just in a new sector, and we have full energy again, and now we're just doing it again and again. Yeah, okay. Yep. I didn't want to go 0, man. Don't stop. Sublight 6 is a decent speed for space dog fighting. Oh, I have more lasers now. I have a second laser. No, I wanted to, like, we want to... Oh, B, and I was hitting the wrong button. I mean, we're here. Might as well dock. Great. You could look at, you know, what Star Raiders, and then also like the Star Wars like tactical simulator, whatever they called that arcade game that Sega did. Had some similar ideas about star bases and docking with them that this does. Damage repaired, energy recharged. Okay, and I learned that we can just warp through. We wrap through the map, so we can just do this. But yeah, as far as this being, you know, a weird kind of like clone / update of a game that came out in the late 70s, you know, you could do worse. So B and A pauses it. I have this okay, we somehow found a way to turn the music off. Now this is space. When your lasers overheat, like you really can't shoot them for a long time. It's not cool. And these torpedoes, are they homing in? Like, well, I don't really get. I don't really get how that works. Also, these sectors are really small. Like, I traveled like over the course of 2 sectors in that one dogfight, which is kind of strange. It feels like you should, you know, like the ship should be able to move around, but it's so easy to just kind of accidentally end up in different sectors as you fight, which is sort of, you know, I guess it doesn't matter. B and select. Okay, yeah. So we have left, back, and right. They couldn't even call it aft. They called it fore, but didn't call it aft, which is a choice, I guess. Whatever. Who cares? It's not a thing anyone should care about. Why can't I shoot? We're going too fast. I gotta slow down so I can turn. You gotta turn and burn. You gotta shoot the tubes. Okay, let's see what this enemy base looks like. And then, this is, you know, I feel, weirdly enough, uniquely qualified to play this game because it is such a overt clone of Star Raiders. Star Raiders gave you stuff like you had to turn your shields on and off manually, and when your shields were on, energy would drain faster. And so in situations where you were maybe like low on energy, you could turn your shields off, and targeting computer, like there were things you could do, like systems to turn on and off to kind of conserve energy, which is neat. You could maybe consider that to be like somewhat superfluous complexity, but it was cool, especially, you know, when video games didn't have that level of complexity at all. Okay, so jeez. Get triangled, motherfucker. Man, that's okay, so because I've unlocked multiple weapons here, I can go in here and I can toggle them back to, like, I have multiple tiers of rear weapon, but I only have the Unfortunately, I can't put my triangles up front. Is that a thing to pick up? It is, okay. This fucking rat turns on rapid fire. Well, we had cool swirling death rear firing stuff, but it did not save us. It seems like it. I don't know what because here you have lives. Outside of here, I assume if you blow up, you just lose. I don't know. You know, like if you just run out of energy. I mean, I guess we could find out, but like also that would take fucking forever. What's going to be the fastest way to just run out of energy? Is it just stay in hyperspace forever? This is going to take forever. Or at least like 2 minutes. This isn't terrible. You know, it's so out of step with what you would want out of an NES game. So you get 3 lives in the side scrolling, but only 1 out here. Yeah, This is an interesting one because this is maybe the best game that Imagineering has put out in like a sick way. It is certainly better than the Simpsons games. This feels like it is largely successful at doing the thing that they set out to do, which is rip off Star Raiders. That's, I think, a style of game that does not have a large place here on the NES. Again, Star Raiders is a Hall of Fame, amazing video game for when it came out. It is the sort of thing that is maybe a little difficult to go back to now. And they did do other versions of it. Like it came out on the Atari 2600, and they tried to make it use the keyboard controller, and it was not the same thing. Some people have fond memories of that game on the 2600. But I poo-poo on that over the original. I guess I would say it's sort of a little difficult to... Again, like, you know, this game tries to build on Star Raiders a little bit, which, there's plenty of room to build more depth into Star Raiders. But by the time you do that, you're kind of just making Wing Commander. You know, you're kind of like, okay, what if we had missions and story, and we didn't necessarily need to have a sector map because you're going here and, you're going and doing specific stuff, and it's not, and so that type of space simulator systems-based game became a different thing structurally and a better thing in a lot of ways. Over the years. And so, like this is kind of in between all of that. When did this come out? When did Destination Earthstar come out? Later than you'd probably think. February 1990. Okay, so is that after Wing Commander 1? Or... Okay, so September 1990 for Wing Commander 1. But... And then you have Elite, obviously, like, that's coming from a somewhat different sensibility. Elite is a game that is very much about, hey, you need to have all of this space accessible because you're out here, like doing the stuff you do in Elite. Whereas this is the sector map and all of that stuff is largely, it's for show kind of once you get past it, right? It's not It's not that big of a deal. Huh. This is an interesting case where like Destination Earthstar is something I feel like I have a weird respect for because of the games they're trying to rip off. And they do an okay job on the Star Raiders part of it, especially when it comes to adapting it to a controller, because almost every other version of Star Raiders that came out needed to have a separate controller with a bunch of buttons on it to turn things on and off and arm different weapons and speed and everything. Here they're able to get away with like, oh, hold down B and push up and down for throttle. And you know, they kind of have some macros, some corded inputs or whatever you want to call them to make that stuff work on the NES controller. And that stuff works pretty well. They did a good job with that. You don't need the rear view, the side view, the stuff they give you here. Like that just feels like them going, well, Star Raiders had it, but there's no use for that here. You know, unless there's a scenario where your instruments get damaged to the point where you can't see where they are. You know, if you don't have the radar anymore, then maybe you would have to try to look around for them. That's a terrible, like at that point, I would turn the game off and restart. Might as well have lost. The side-scrolling stuff feels terrible. Like that is a genre that is so well worn on this platform. You know, it's a relatively small part of this package. And so, you know, you can't just go in expecting it to be, you know, Gradius or whatever in terms of quality, but at the same time, the movement has this weird momentum to it. And so moving left and right is so sluggish, and that feels terrible. That feels really, really bad. The weapons thing, the firing forward and back thing, I would rather if they just kind of completed the job of ripping off Scramble or Super Cobra, if you must, and given me a straight shot and a bomb, and maybe done away with some of the backwards thing. Vanguard, the SNK shooter that I was mentioning earlier, would let you fire in 4 directions, and so you know you could fire behind you. You know, so that's. And looking at the lattice work in some of the some of the graphics in that part of this game, to me screams Vanguard in a very direct, like, yo, we're gonna rip off some Vanguard while we're at it, which is interesting and weird to, you know, who's out here talking about Vanguard. I like Vanguard. Vanguard's a cool game, but ain't no one out here talking about Vanguard, thinking about Vanguard. Twitch.tv's #1 Vanguard historian. And so on paper, that's such an insane combo that like it feels tailor-made for me in some sick way, where I'm like, look at you guys. Look at you guys combining Star Raiders and Vanguard. That's fucking ridiculous. Who would do that? I love that. I love that we did this. It's just not a great game. And scientifically speaking, when I remove myself from it, you know, we're left with something that is deeper than you would think. It is, you know, I'll tell you right off the bat where we're going to start. It is a better game than the Paradicus Conflict, which does some similar things in its quest to be like that type of space simulator or whatever. And so this is better than the Paradicus Conflict. This is better than Sacross. It's better than Gilligan's Island. I mean, duh. Man, I'm shocked by the actual contents of Destination Earthstar. Again, like, and I think a lot of that comes again from the general sensibilities that came out of Imagineering from the ex Activision developers that had made their bones on the 2600, and again, they did legendary work there, you know. Gary Kitchen made Keystone Capers, which is a fucking fantastic fucking game. But again, you know, some of those sensibilities, I think, you know, they ran out of road ultimately. And so this is sort of a weird thing. Like it's such a weird specific game that in some ways feels like only Imagineering could have done this in some sick way. Not that they made, you know, they did not make Star Raiders. You know, Atari published Star Raiders. What's his name? Doug Neubauer? Is that the name of the guy that made Star Raiders? Anyway. I'm speechless about just the nature of what this game is. It's so interesting that this game exists and that Acclaim published it, because Acclaim published all of their stuff. Virtual Balboa asks what were your thoughts on Star Master for the 2600. Kind of, I'd say the same basic things about Star Master. Like Star Master, I think is a more effective space shooting game of that nature than Star Raiders on the 2600 was. Like I would take Star Master over Star Raiders there, but not the original actual Star Raiders. Star Master it looks nice. Like it's got a good look to it. Like it feels pretty decent to play for what it is. So yeah, Star Master is all right. Anyway. This game has left me weirdly excited, I would say. There's something about Destination Earthstar that is just such a specific brand of we're gonna rip this thing off and then combine them, and the things they're pulling from are very you know, at least in one case, like a very important and legendary thing in the pantheon of video gaming, a Hall of Fame game to be sure. But you know, again, that ship sailed, man. Like no one wants, especially by 1990. By 1990, no one wants Destination Earthstar. And no, there is no reference. There is no mention of the game Star Raiders on the Wikipedia page for Destination Earthstar, which is key information as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I don't know. It's really fascinating. This is I'm very pleased to have uncovered. Like this is exactly the sort of stuff I'm excited to see. Games I didn't even know existed on this platform and seeing and going like, weird, huh? But ultimately, you know, again, when we let the science speak, I think that it's a game that is largely out of step with the games around it. The NES was capable of doing much better from an action perspective, especially from a side-scrolling perspective, the way the base battles handle here. And the complexity of the kind of space simulator portion of it, I think, is largely not necessary. You know, you could have just as easily had like, okay, you're gonna, you know, fight several waves of people from a first-person perspective and then transition into this side-scroller for the base, or, you know, like there's ways to action this up in a weird way, and I think that stuff is neat. It's neat. It's better than Gilligan's Island. It is better than the Jetsons' Cogswell's Caper. It's better than Akari 3 The Rescue. It's better than Silver Surfer. Science is hard, man, because it's a weird case where like this is a game I like more than it deserves, and Defenders of Dynatron City is a game I detest with all of my being, but it's, you know, scientifically speaking, it's in the mid 400s, you know, and so I have to sit here and separate myself out from this. This is better than Defenders of Dynatron City. It's better than Mario's Time Machine. It's better than Pinball Quest. It's better than Raid on Bungling Bay. Raid on Bungling Bay is like a complex. Raid on Bungling Bay is a deceptively complex game that isn't worth it doesn't need the complexity that it has. You know, Will Wright's a maniac, and just, I don't know, shit happened, man. But the systems that run underneath Raid on Bungling Bay are fascinating, but they don't make it a better game per se. Destination Earthstar is better than Raid on Bungling Bay. It's better than Star Wars. That's a back of box quote for this one. ... Better than Star Wars. It's better than Hatris. It's better than The Jungle Book. It's better than Dark Man. It's better than Total Recall. It's better than Freedom Force. It's better than Magic Johnson's Fast Break. Man, this is a tricky one. It's better than Platoon. I'm not sure that it's better than Quest for the Avatar. It's better than Quest for the Avatar. It's better than Stanley the Search for Dr. Livingston. It's better than Loops. But there's not that much going on here. I mean, like, really, there's just not that much going on. It's like Loop. It's better than Loops. It's better than Supercars, but it's actually not better than Joe and Mac. That's our new number 407. That's a hard one. Like there's a part of me in my heart that wants to push this up the list because of how it's just specific it is, but I can't. The science does not allow it. You know, the combat in this game is like boneheaded. It's not, you know, the culmination of every mission is a shitty side scroller. Like, you know, it's a game with issues for sure. But it's neat that they pulled off something at all close to this. And so there you have it. Number 407. Huh. Wow. Weird, man. All right. Funny Dale wants to see this one. I think of this, when I think of this as a video game, I think of the Sega CD. But there is also a game by this name here. Did this game even come out on the Sega? I guess, yeah, it did. There are not this game, but anyway. It's from your friends at Konami. It's Batman Returns. Nice little audio, nice some little bit of Konami drums there for you. Gotham City seems peaceful since Batman released it from the Joker's clutches. But some people have seen a strange man's shadow in the sewer. Really? The cats in the city are getting noisy. The time is coming when Batman must return. Hence the name Batman Returns. If they had just taken this music and put it in Castlevania 3, man, that would be an improvement. It is a peaceful winter night in Gotham City. The Ice Princess is about to light up the Christmas tree for the citizens. Suddenly, a huge gift box appears, and the Red Triangle Circus Gang bursts out of the wrapping. Gotham Plaza changes from a festive party to a horrifying bedlam. The bat signal blazes into the sky, and Batman returns to Gotham City.
The graphics are blazing.
What is the Batmobile falling out of the sky? What? Huh. I guess I wasn't expecting this to be one of these. Oh, look at that. I got a little... It's so fast. It's such a... Ah! Oh, I thought it was going to be like the Battletoads thing with the long legs. That was going to push it over and then beat people with the leg. You know, there are some exceptions to this, but I will say in a general sense, I don't like clowns. And I think beating them up is generally a good thing. I think there's, you know, like a couple of clowns that are exceptions to that, but We need some flavor text up here on this sign. You know, something that lets you know what's coming. A skating rink. Good. Perfect. This feels, I feel like the Turtles games do a better job of like Konami did a better job with those. Look at this friggin' guy. It's like I'm playing Renegade all over again, man. Now I'm on the ice. It just feels very plain, I guess. I don't know. It's weird because like the pieces are there. You know, you have a handful of different attacks. You got this little slide that's like kind of like a decent. It's a decent slide. You got a little jump kick. If you hit both buttons at the same time, you got to attack for that. The battle in front of the plaza. Oh, a package for me. It's a box. Shrek's department store. You kidding me? I have to fight Shrek now? I don't remember Shrek being in Batman Returns, but I appreciate, you know, they probably saw, you know, well, they put Batman into Revenge of Shinobi, like we gotta step it up. Yeah, there's a block. I was gonna say I keep hitting the attack button and noticing that occasionally attacks aren't coming out, and it's because down and B is a block of some kind. That's interesting. I mean, you know, like that's them trying to do something different with this game, but this doesn't seem like a game where you need to block. Bring your legs up here so I can hit them with my sweep thing. I really don't remember much about the film Batman Returns. I'm not sure that I've seen it since it was new. Like Batman, I saw that. But I feel like Batman Returns, like, I don't know, it was not as good. I mostly just remember walking around CES when Sega was showing the Sega CD and they had their video, and this disc is since like leaked, and so you can have the experience of that year at CES yourself. They had a demonstration disc running on loop that had like a picture, like animated Joe Montana FMV, and then also had like, Michelle, like the Batman Returns, like just saying meow, and that was it. It was like that clip, and you're like, oh my god, it's the movie. And so if you were standing around the Sega booth, you heard that meow over and over and over and over and over again. In the Sega CD section. Annoying. Ah, fuck off. It's like they want to do the final fight. Like, look at this big fat guy you're fighting, but like they can't make the sprites big enough here, so it's like these guys just don't seem nearly as imposing as Bill Bull. All right, here's Shrek. There he is. I will destroy this building, says Catwoman. To the roof. Shrek versus Catwoman is the type of fight you would expect to have to pay good money to see, or at least download a bootleg fan-made fighting game. Fire Pro Wrestling at bare minimum. Ugh. I can't actually walk up and down, but he will just walk forever. if I try to walk up or down in this scenario. What am I doing here? Oh, look at that. I have some kind of grappling device. Aha, it's the little thing there. Now we're having fun. Sure glad we got to do that. Oh god. And I have to fight guys on either side of it, so now I need to go back and fight the other guy. That's... this is... oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, I can still slide, okay. Oh, I still have the bat thing here? What, why? What? Alright, well... I had to use my box. This is annoying. This is a bad place to fight people. What the fuck? Oh, so I have a... okay, so I have limited batarangs. I can select this or go back to no use, which is what I want. I want no use. Actually, maybe I want the bat claw again to... That's interesting, at least. Like, you know, a combat use for that thing. Those fucking missiles just hit Batman. Like, yeah, it's blowing holes in the floor, but Batman just goes, ow, my shoulder! Fucking dick! So how good are the batarangs, then? Oh. I'll give them this, like they've carved out like a different feeling brawler, you know? Like it doesn't have the exact same types of moves that all of these games tend to have. This is dumb though. This is like, why are we, you know, if I'm not fighting guys, why am I, this is not, there's no platforming, there's no just walk over here and hit this and go to another area. It's like, you know, silly. The battle on the ivory tower. Why do you interfere with my revenge? Because I love Shrek. I can't afford not to interfere. Oh, he's a shareholder in Shrek's business. I see. Don't underestimate me because I'm a woman. That's annoying. I like her a lot more in whip mode than in flipping at me and actually hitting me mode. This is way easier to deal with. The Penguin. I'm planning to trap Batman. Catwoman. What an exciting idea. Looking for the Ice Princess. Are you the Ice Princess? I'm Batman. Why do I keep fighting these like weird fucking clown guys or whatever the fuck these guys are? What are these fucking guys? Are these still the Red Circus fucking posse? Whatever they are? The Red Triangle Circus Gang, sure. I could go for some more enemy variety than, like, here's weird stilts guy again. The hit reactions are kind of not awesome. Like, it's just like, you know, he just stands there, doesn't animate at all, and, you know, I just watch his health go down. Like, at least they put the meter in there. They almost had to, because, you know, otherwise you wouldn't even know you were doing damage. You're like, oh, is he blocking it? Like, what am I doing? Like, what? Jeez. Stab lady. Knife crime a real problem out here in Gotham these days. Are you guys trying to steal all the mayo from this building? I'm Batman. I'm not gonna let you. Clowns with bazookas and witches hats on. Oh, these guys don't even have the bazookas. Two knife ladies? Who could be this diabolical? Only the Penguin could set this type of trap into motion. The motorcycle dick is back. Oh, cool. It's a fun fight, so I'm glad. Hee, I'm a devil! Okay, do I need to Batman my way up there? I do. Alright. Like they wanted to do some Batman things, and that's alright. I don't know. It's kind of... like that does give it some variety, though having that shit selected when you're actually trying to fight sucks because, again, it's a game where you're walking up and down, and so it's very easy to accidentally hit that up and B input in the middle of fighting a guy, which is not what you want to do. Also, it'd be cool if I could yank that chandelier down or something. Hey, just relax and I'll take care of the squealing, wretched pinhead puppets of Gotham. All right, I'm counting on you. I've played this stinking city like a harp. okay, I will record their conversation. It could be useful. Good idea, Batman. Batman's always listening to conversations and then not breaking down the door and like beating people up. He's always like, I should save this for later. Like that Batman's always doing that. Cool, man. This is fun. Oh, is that it for Batman? Okay, sure. I'm sad, Batman. Password. Nice to have something, you know, this seems like a game that normally you would just like play all the way through, I guess, but that's okay. Like decent music, like it looks okay. I don't know, like it doesn't. Yeah. Batman Returns. Is that the actual best Batman Returns licensed game? Because it's not the Lynx game. It's not the Sega CD. It's like the. Like it's not the the SNES game is like I remember that SNES game being pretty whatever. Batman Returns. It is fine. It's not exciting. I don't know. Like there's kind of nothing to it. Which is weird because like I feel like systems wise it feels like there's something going on here, you know, with the grappling hook and the batarang. Like it feels like there's something to it, but the combat is really straightforward. Again, the lack of hit reactions on the enemies is kind of shitty. Really good music and like a decent look to it. It moves fine. But it's missing like a certain something to like kick it into some kind of upper echelon. Like it needs, like if it was faster, if there was more of a running thing, if the enemy variety was a little bit better. I'm sure it changes up as time goes on a little more directly, but the number of stilts guys you fight is already a little too much. The straightforward read on the story, like trying to kind of put it as this something that is more or less telling the story of the film, is something that I think a lot of games got trapped. They fell into that trap starting in this time frame and moving forward for a few too many generations, really. But it's funny to think about and I don't know how much of this was EGM and the way they reported on stuff or whatever it was, but like there was just something about the way Batman was. And I guess it's because the movie was so huge, that movie was 89 and that movie was massive and Batman became such a massive cultural force that like any Batman video game was just covered to death. And it was like, oh my God, like that Genesis Batman game that didn't come out in the US. And EGM devoted and there were companies selling it in the back of EGM for $80 if you want, which it's funny to think that seemed like a fucking insane price for a video game back then. It was, maybe it still is. But like they were breathlessly talking about this fucking Sunsoft Batman, like, oh my God, this is amazing. This game needs to come to the US. Sega would kill it. Blah, blah, blah. And Sega made a big deal about having the Batman license when Batman Returns was coming out, and it was a pillar of their Sega CD lineup at the time. It was something they put a lot of oomph behind, but I don't feel like any of the games really broke through, the Batman Returns games anyway, and it just seems like it just sort of, that idea of Batman as a cultural force as a big thing, I think also sort of dried up a bit after Batman Returns, right? Like that movie was, well liked, I suppose, but not to the degree that the first one was, and then I don't know, like it felt like after that Batman just kind of subsided, and like, this like stuff still happened, and there was animated series and whatever else, but it just, part of it was just my age at the time, getting out of that bullshit, and Batman not being what Batman was, and whatever else. Like it felt like Batman kind of normalized a little bit after that. After Batman Returns, I guess. But not that those other movies weren't. I don't know, man. George Clooney, not the worst. Not the worst. This game is This game is worse than the sum of its parts, I suppose, is what I would say about it. It has pieces, man. The combat feels fine. You have a decent variety of inputs, whether it's a block or the ability to use some items or whatever, the slide. Like there's meat to it, but it doesn't fit together into something that I think takes full advantage of that stuff. It merges together into something that you go like, okay, yeah, cool. I feel like if these encounters were, if these enemies fought a little differently, or if there was just something else going on, that would better take advantage of your moveset or whatever, that there would just be a little bit more going on. And I think that would really help. And like, the whole thing of like, oh, you got a box and that gives you effectively an extra life, but then, when you lose, it's game over. That strikes me as something that is that kind of, hey, we know we can't just keep making arcade games. We have to figure out what it means to put a game out like this on a console and sell it, and what does that mean? How do we balance this difficulty wise, number of lives, whatever else? But I still think that like this game might have been, if they had just given you 3 lives and limited number of continues, or like the password stuff is all right, like it's good. But that's as much as I would say about it. I mean, it's certainly better than Street Fighter 2010 The Final Fight, right? I mean, it's better than Contra Force. It's better than The Ultimate Stuntman. It's better than G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. I always wanted these G.I. Joe games, and when I finally got my hands on one, which was, maybe a year after that first one came out or whatever, the local video store was getting rid of all of its video games because it, the generation was over, and it decided they didn't want to deal with discs. So, like even, yeah, it was probably 94, 95 that they divested themselves of all their NES games and everything, all their games. And so I went in and bought a bunch of stuff, and that was the first time I think I had gotten my hands on a copy of that G.I. Joe game. And I remember being so disappointed by those games. This Batman Returns feels like a much better use of the license and all that stuff than the G.I. Joe game was. It's just a better game overall. It's better than Remote Control, which is a decent use of the license, I would suppose. It's better than Spiritual Warfare. It's better than Pinbot. It's better than Battletoads and Double Dragon, The Ultimate Team. It is a better game than Marion's Secret Castle. It's better than TNC Surf Design's Wood and Water Rage. It's better than Thrilla's Surfari. Is Batman Returns better or worse than Dino Wars Destruction of Spond Yalaus? Batman is better. Batman is better than Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones. Batman Returns is better than Jimmy Connor's Tennis. It's better than Kid Nicky Radical Ninja. Yeah. Is it better or worse than Golgo 13 Top Secret Episode? That's a kind of a weird one. I think the music in this one's really good. Konami, when Konami's on hit, they get it done, man. This doesn't have any bullshit first-person maze sequences like Golgo 13 does, but... Golgo 13 is another one that, like, in my heart, that's a top 10, 20 game. It's like it's near the top of the list. It's Golgo fucking 13, man. But then you go back and actually play Golgo 13, and you're like, oh, man, how many times do I need to walk past the Brandenburg Gate? I'm so sad. Batman Returns is, like, the highs are not as high as Golgo 13, but the lows are also not nearly as low. So scientifically, on average, it is a better game. It's better than Iron Tank, The Battle for Normandy. It's better than Rambo. It's better than Die Hard, which is a wonderfully ambitious thing. It's better than Batman Return of the Joker. But this is, it's better than that surprisingly good port of Road Blasters. It's better than Arquista's Ring. It's better than Adventure Island 3. Batman Returns is better than Rescue the Embassy Mission. It's not as good as Batman the video game. And I think that gets into some of the stuff about the sum of its parts, like Batman Returns is cool, but it's not. It still feels hollow somehow in terms of just like the enemy design not matching what your potential move set could be, and there's aspects of that you just go, yeah, this is lacking. It's better than Amagon. It's better than Rockin' Cats. It's better than Palamedes. It's better than Zombie Nation. It's better than Urban Champion. It's better than Abadox. It is better than Barai Fighter. It's no Bucky O'Hare. It's better than Castlevania 3. It's no Bucky O'Hare. It's our new number 108. again, I think if you took a good chunk of that Batman Returns soundtrack and put it into Castlevania 3, at least the US version of it, that'd be pretty good. I went and played a pretty significant chunk of the Japanese version of Castlevania 3. And it's a good example, I think. The Castlevania 3 situation, I think, is a great example of what it's been like to play through all of these games. Because I think people's memories are rotted by emulation, by whether it's save states or rewinding or playing translated versions of the Japanese release. And so you get kind of the different difficulty balance on the Japanese version or what have you. Like, it's a shame because there is a better version of Castlevania 3 that you can play now, and we're lucky to live in that world. But it's also like, it's ruined everyone's memory of what that game actually is. and I think that's interesting. It's a really interesting case of like what recontextualizing that game has done, And yeah, the ability to kind of tweak a thing. We talked about games that felt like, man, if they just had like one minor difficulty tweak here or there or whatever, like this game could be so much better. And like Castlevania is a great example of that you can actually kind of go see for yourself because someone kind of went and did it. They just didn't release that version in the US. And so, yeah, it's a really weird case. There's some other changes they made where like the knife guy's attack in like he throws the knife in the Japanese version, but he just stabs in the US version, if I remember correctly. And like either way, he kind of, either way, I don't think he was like that much fun to play, but it kind of is what it is. There you have it. Batman Returns is a fascinating game. I don't think I have ever played Batman Returns before. It's neat. It's neat. And I'm glad to have played it, but I wish Batman Returns had more. That's the thing, man. This game is pretty good, and if it had a couple of tweaks, we might be talking about it in the mighty Final Fight zone. Like it could be something that could, with relatively minor changes, I feel like that game could jump 30 spots or something. But alas, here we are, and that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here as we rank these games. If you want to go to 8bitnintendo.science, you can see the full list as well as time-stamped links to all of the episodes, all 116 of them. We got more to go here. What did someone just say? We're 83% of the way through? Yeah. 753 games total, and we're 627 in. Yeah, it's It doesn't feel like the home stretch because there's a whole lot of games left, obviously, but it's an interesting list that's remaining as well. I do want to play. Left over on the list here that we didn't get to this week is Godzilla 2: War of the Monsters. Someone's been asking for pro wrestling. And so that'll probably be coming up in the relatively near future. Someone asked about the status of Power Pad games. I think we're just about ready for that. It's hard because I don't want the kids to come in here and ruin the Power Pad as soon as I hook it up. So like, I don't know. Like they would fight over it, I'm sure. And so I just need to be able to test out the Power Pad and figure out where I'm going to position a second camera or whatever to make all that work. So I just need some time to set all that stuff up and figure it all out. And then I need to find my USB to MIDI adapter and see if I can pull a keyboard in here and And I assume that sounds like that can work with the Miracle keyboard typing touch whatever system things, but I've not actually hooked that stuff up to know for sure, but that is the method I'm looking at for that. So yeah, we'll get to all that stuff in the future. Come on back next Friday. We'll rank some video games again. Come on back through Tuesday for the podcast. Of course, go to patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. Join the advisory panel today, and you can suggest some games for me, and we'll knock out the rest of this list together. Huh. Yeah, well, I have to play Ultima on the Master System now. That's what today has left me with. So I will see you next time. Have a good weekend, and take care of yourself.